Hello everybody, this is Big Benedict. We're playing Devil May Cry 1 on Dante Must Die difficulty. This is mission 16. It's entitled Nightmare of Darkness. So, both of those words hold true here. When we go back to the castle, it's going to be pitch black, but we'll be able to use our flashlight of sorts to see through the darkness, and obviously the word nightmare is going to be just that. It's going to be a nightmare to deal with this guy because he's a very tough boss, and I don't particularly care for him, but I'm going to tell you the best way to deal with this guy, because if you don't deal with him correctly, you could possibly have to restart your game, and that's what I had to do because I had damaged the core irreparably. We're going to be facing Nightmare 3 times, and each subsequent time you fight him, the core, the 2 cores that he has, they carry over. So if you damage them too much and get them either shattered or into the red status, you're going to be in big trouble, because when the core is red, his defenses go up. So when you're hitting a red core, you deal like next to no damage. It's only on the blue and the green cores that you deal like realistic damage that's going to win you the battle. I think it probably goes down if you have it to green. It deals a little bit less, but his defenses spike when he has the red. I mean, when he has the red, you try to hit him with anything, it takes away. You talk about an enemy tanking something, it'll take away next to nothing, and it's just going to make it's not impossible, but it's not going to be pleasant whatsoever. You just don't want that to happen. So, how do you avoid that? You avoid it by going to the underworld one time. If I'm only going to go to the underworld on the first Nightmare fight because it's the only battle that I can really tolerate, and the Griffin and the Neo Angelo, they just take too long to defeat. Though that might change, but I'm just saying that is one way to deal damage to him without actually hitting the cores. You're going to need to hit the walls, the circular wall panels, to actually take him from the substance form to his physical form, which is, what it is. I can't really describe what it is. We've already seen these enemies. These are the plasma enemies. I've mentioned them before in the waterway section, so I'm just going to skip over these guys and talk about the core, because it's extremely imperative that you do right by this guy, because by the time the third encounter comes around, you might have something shattered, but as long as it's not red, you're going to be okay. That's what I have to say about it. And I never really even, on my first guide when I did this, when I started to do it and then I had to redo it because of just that issue, I only got to the second form, but by then I had already got the red core, and that just kind of shows you my naivete about this game and not knowing how to deal with an enemy. So now I definitely know how to deal with this guy. The key to winning is charged Ifrit attacks. Ideally charged, devil-triggered Ifrit attacks on this guy. Now, he's got a core in the front of him and like where his head is, and he's also got a core at the rear of him. And he's got some pretty devastating attacks. He's got whatever attack pattern you get, it's based on what color lights up on the wall, on the circular wall. The thing you have to hit to actually make him fightable. So he's got one attack, which is an ice breath attack. So if you can kind of see when it's coming and just kind of circulate around it. I like having the Ifrit because the great thing about the Ifrit is that you can go right up to the wall, the circles, and just jump up against it, and the offensive attack that you do with the Ifrit will light up the panels for you. So you don't even have to be vulnerable while you're hitting. You can just kind of jump up against them, and they light up. Trust me, it works. And you don't have to worry about him aiming at an enemy behind you when you're trying to hit the wall. There's really nothing more frustrating than that. But the first time we're going to be fighting Nightmare, you're going to have to fight the Phantom, which is a really easy enemy that doesn't tank your attacks when you fight him. So it's very ideal to go there, I would say, early on, because you don't get refilled very much. Sometimes when you're in the underworld, they might not even decide to fill you up at all. So what actually happened to me was, I think I got one heal, but it was hardly anything, so I had to use a Vital Star and heal myself. So the items that I used in this fight were one Vital Star, two of the Devil Stars, because this motherfucker, he steals your Devil Trigger. It's just... Anyway, what else did I use? I used one Holy Water as well, because, as I mentioned, you can use Holy Water when a core is exposed, and it doesn't do irreparable damage. But you definitely want to go into this fight with all your Devil Trigger. Don't worry about going into the room with low health. You can just allow yourself to be killed. It'll respawn you, and you'll have all your health back. One thing I don't think a lot of people know, but maybe they do, maybe I'm incorrect, is that you can actually hit the wall before you even spawn the fight. And then, see what I'm going to do? I'm just going to hit the wall right before it even starts, light up this thing so that I can just start the fight right away, and I don't have to run back to it and possibly maybe get damaged a little bit from the critters that he summons here. But I like this Ifrit because while you're jumping, you have an offense around you that hits things. Now this core here, it shoots missiles, this attack right here. So what you want to do is just wait until the missiles are expired, and then do your charged Ifrit attacks with the Devil Trigger on. And then go to the wall, and you'll see me just jump up against these circles and they light up. I didn't do it right there, but I do it. And when all the pegs go off of the circle on the walls, then you have to keep re-hitting it. Now this phase, I think when you see like an icy kind of breath around him, what am I doing here? Okay, I'm switching to my shotgun because I have resigned myself to getting grabbed. It's getting grabbed and being drawn into the underworld. It does not damage you, so that is a good thing. Here he is stealing my Devil Trigger. So I decided to get grabbed early on. You can only get grabbed one time and summoned to the underworld. You can't do the whole fight in the underworld. If you get grabbed again, it's just going to damage you and not take you to the underworld. But anyway, you're going to have the Sargassos to fight. And there's always going to be one guy with red spots on him. That doesn't mean he's Devil Triggered, but they can go into Devil Trigger mode. So I'm just circulating. I think the shotgun's a really good choice here. I'm not even going to need to use anything. I'm not going to need any gun on this fight or even Nightmare. All I need is my Ifrit. See, he went into Devil Trigger mode. See his little tattoos on his skull? That's not Devil Trigger. But if you rewind that, he did have there. See, he did it again. He briefly went into Devil Trigger mode. I don't know if that was the blood or not, but I know before he did. So here now, this guy is aggroed, and I'm going to go into Devil Trigger mode and just look at this. You can't get away with this on the other Phantom fights. It does not. He tanks your attacks. Not here though. So it's pretty liberal. I mean, that's pretty nice of them to at least have the enemy take some damage off you that's meaningful. And I've got pretty good hits on this guy too as well. I mean, it's taken a large chunk off of him. But I personally feel that, if I had made this game, I would make the character, the person playing the game, fully healed on leaving the underworld. Just heal the fucking person. It even looks like that would be the case because it's a green shaft of light that's bringing you back to the surface of reality. So over here, I'm going to use a heal, and look at the damage you take off of him. And see this damage right here? That's damage that you don't do to the core, so that's very important. Now I'm switching back to my Ifrit. He's in the gunk phase, so I'm going to go over to the wall. I think I just jump up against it here. See? Just jump up against it, it lights right up. That's super convenient. Now, I think he's going to do the... looks like he might do the ice breath. No, he's doing the missiles. Pardon me. But, just do the offense around the missiles. Charge your Ifrit attacks. If you don't have Devil Trigger, just quickly hit the menu and use your Devil Stars. And I continually keep coming back to the circles just to make sure. He's not very. He doesn't stay out too much when he does the ice breath attack. See, he's already withdrawing back into the mechanism here, and that wasn't even because the circle was extinguishing either. So just be very aware of that ice attack, because it will take off. Well, I know you cannot survive 2 of them. He also has some stab attacks too, which I don't think he did this time around. I also would not mess around with the devil trigger mode when you're jumping and pressing the triangle button to do that inferno or whatever it is. I think that damages the core too much than is safe. I mean, I hear what is he doing? Stealing my devil trigger again? Son of a bitch, man. This guy pisses me off. I just don't like these fights. Like too much is hitting you. There's a stab attack right there. So I think I'm going to use some Devil Stars. Yep, use some Devil Stars. I'm just doing charged Ifrit attacks. That's the way to victory here, to preserve it's an interesting enemy, it really is. So here's his Ice Breath. You can try to hide behind the columns, which I'm doing here, but perhaps it does go through the columns, so you might not be safe. But I think you might be safe, though, because I've been behind columns many a time and not got damaged. But if you've got a lot of holy waters, I would use the holy waters. They work pretty damn well. Like, I thought I was, I never take anything for granted, though, on this. Even though I'm in green here, I could be in the red in the blink of an eye, and in fact, I think that's exactly what happens over here. I don't know what happens, but he wasn't even on camera, so when I came back, I was at a disadvantage here. I think I get stabbed. I really don't like fighting this guy. I think it's a really interesting concept. Ooh, do I get hit? Ooh, fuck. You see that damage? Oh, man. So, 2 holy waters will kill this guy. I'm using a Devil Star here. Whoops, didn't catch that edit. I'm sorry about that. I usually cut those out to keep the flow of the fight going. But I think I exhaust my Devil Trigger over here, and I end up throwing some holy waters. No, I don't. But the next time he exposes his core, yep, holy water, he's dead. That's pretty good. That's a good tactic. That's what I would say is an advanced tactic. Anyway, that was a little insider joke if you didn't catch it. But now we're just going to be going to the other side of this area. When the next chapter starts, you can do the secret mission, which has the other blue orb. It's one of the final ones. I mean, it's a fragment, that is. And I think we have a boss fight in the next chapter too. So that's 3 boss fights in a row. This game is not easy.